find over and over again is that there's this one thing that people seem to get feedback about that they're often puzzled by. And that is when they get the feedback that they're not considered warm or friendly, or they're considered aloof or cool, or even cold. So I'll often hear, well, Janet, you know, I'm just not Mr. Smiley, or I don't like to walk around smiling all the time. I'm a little bit more introverted. I'm just not like this big, outgoing, out there person. And so maybe that's why they see me as cold, but I am not cold, and I don't like to be seen that way. And they're always a little perplexed because none of us want to, you know, project this persona that isn't us. However, I find that there's one little simple tweak that you can do that will move the needle a little bit in that perception. And that's the Power Presence Makeover moment for today. And that is, give acknowledgement feedback when you speak or when you're in someone's presence. Now, what is that? What's acknowledgement feedback? So here's the deal. You know, upon further investigation, when I observe this dynamic of, you know, why is somebody coming across cold or whatever, they're giving certain signals when they're speaking without even realizing it. Let's assume that you and I are having a conversation. And I'm trying to build rapport with you, so I'm asking you some questions so that we can have a pleasant interaction. And it could be small talk, it could be anything. And I could say to you, so how did you like that event? And your answer is, it was good. Or I could ask you, did you like that event? Yes. Okay. Let's say I asked you, so how was your weekend? That's an open-ended question. And the impetus for me asking that question, right, is to get you to talk and tell me about your weekend, and so that we could have an interaction or some rapport. It was good. Very cut answers, basically giving the signal that I don't want to take this conversation further, or I'm either too busy or whatever it is, but I'm not that interested in having this conversation. Oh, it was a great weekend. I went snowboarding with my kids. It was the first time we ever went. I don't have time to talk about it right now, but it was a lot of fun. At least you're acknowledging that you are building some rapport with the person. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about acknowledgement feedback. You're acknowledging what the intent of the person that's having the conversation with you is. You're not just answering the question, because the intent there was to try to build some rapport with you. And so it's really paying attention to the conversation signals. Another example is if you're on the phone with someone. Have you ever heard somebody, they're talking, and then all of a sudden they say, hello, are you there? Well, they're asking you that for a reason, because what they're looking for cues. They're looking for cues that you're interested, that you're paying attention, that you're tracking with them. And if you aren't giving that acknowledgement feedback, as I call it, they're not sure whether you're actually sitting there on your computer, totally tuned out, or if you're really interested in them. And so things like acknowledging feedback would be, yeah, no, that's great. As they're talking. Now, it doesn't mean you interrupt them, so I'm not telling you to be rude, but there's a give and take in any conversation, even if someone is talking for a long period of time. Same thing when you're in a room and somebody's giving you a presentation or they're talking to you. That you're looking at them, you're nodding, you're smiling. And if you're not a smiley person, don't smile. Just make a facial expression. And not a facial expression like you're mortified, but some sort of a cue. And I think that's really what I'm talking about, is that you're giving cues that you're interested, engaged, and that this person is important to you. And we do that as human beings through giving some sort of acknowledgement feedback. Also giving your opinion at the end of what they did in an acknowledging fashion, that what you admired about them. Anything that shows that you are paying attention, that you're present, that you're not cold, that you're not aloof, you are friendly, and the relationship is important to you. Try monitoring yourself for a little while. Watch yourself. Give cues. Give these cues to people. You'll be amazed at how that little tweak can start shifting that perception. And it doesn't mean that you have to walk around with this big smile on your face and be fake. It means showing people that you are interested in them, you are tracking with them, and you're listening to them. It is actually pretty simple. Thanks for watching. And always remember this: every single moment you have a choice in what you say, what you do, and how you make people feel. Pause and make those choices intentionally and wisely, because every single moment, those choices are who you become.